everybody, my name is Natalia Lee and I'm the author of the young adult novels Highborn and Way of Spears, and today I am filming in Kristen Martin's office. I am here on the Authortube Retreat 2018 and today I am bringing you an amazing collaboration with 7 other writers to talk to you about our top writing tips. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So I'd have to say that my number one writing tip is always to finish your project. Whether that is a novel or a novella or a short story or a collection of poetry, whatever it is that you are working on, I highly recommend that you see it through to the end, even if it's not something that you're incredibly proud of. Like, let's say that you've really been struggling because you feel like the quality of writing isn't where you want it to be, or maybe you don't have any motivation to finish it. I highly recommend that you push through all of that, because for the longest time I could never finish a book. I started and abandoned so many novels that I had honestly convinced myself that I could never be an author because I couldn't finish anything. And for me, it absolutely took finishing the first book, like the very first version of Highborn, which is not what I published because it wasn't good at all, but the very first version of Highborn that I finished taught me that I could write books. It taught me that I could see a project through to completion, and I needed that. That was absolutely the number one most important thing for me, and that has to be my number one tip. If you are struggling right now to finish a project, just push through in whatever way you can and finish the book or finish the short story. Finish whatever it is you are working on, and that will show you that you are capable, and from there you can do anything.
Hi guys, my name is Kristen Martin. I am the Amazon best-selling author of 4 books, which are The Alpha Drive, The Order of Omega, Restitution, and Shadow Crown. Okay, so my number one writing tip, and something I get asked the most, is there a magic formula, or people seem to want a magic formula for how to write a book and how to come up with ideas and how to organize your story and outline it and plot it and develop your characters. And so my number one writing tip is that there is no magic formula. Everyone's process is going to be different. You also have to be patient with your process, patient with yourself, patient with hearing your voice, come out, and the development of everything. It's just going to take time. Everyone's writing processes are so different. So again, you just have to find what works for you and realize that there is no magic formula, and that's okay.
My name is MANDI LYNN. I'm the author of the young adult novel Essence and historical fantasy novel I Am Mercy, and I would say that my biggest writing tip would probably be to not force yourself to write. When you force yourself to write, the result isn't always the best, and you can tell when, your reader, when they're reading a book, they can tell if you force yourself to write. They can tell that your heart isn't in it, and they can tell that you don't love your novel. And if you don't love your novel, then your reader's not going to love your novel. So if you don't feel like writing one day, just let it go. You can write again tomorrow.
I am JESSI ELLIOTT. I'm the author of Twisted Fate, and my advice would be, and it's a quote that I really take to heart both in my writing and in my life, and that is, if it's still in your mind, it's worth taking the risk. So if there's a story that you're really excited to write but that you're not sure of if it will sell or if people will like it, my advice is to write the frickin' book, because if you're in love with it, readers will be able to sense that when they're reading it. And if you're writing a book and trying to sell a book for the market and because you think it's popular, your lack of passion with the project will ring clear through your words and your writing, and readers are really going to take note that it was clear that you wrote this for the market and not because it was something that you loved. So I think that it's super important just to be true to what you love and what you're excited about writing. And it's usually going to be a book or the book that you want to read that's not out there yet. So just write what you want to write and don't worry about anything else.
Hey guys, my name is Kayla Walker. I make writing, travel, and motivational videos all the time. Now, I know you can see so many different writing routines, writing tips but really just try a couple different things that you see online from a couple different people that you love, and be really honest with yourself about what works for you. Don't try to fit into a mold of somebody else, and then you'll slowly find a routine that you absolutely love. So take writing tips with a grain of salt.
Okay guys, my name is VERA and I'm the author of When Stars Burn Out, as well as its soon-to-be-released sequel, A Dark Sky Opens. Writing is hard, and writing should be hard. Like any creative outlet, writing is going to be a challenge sometimes, but if you do not make sure that you do it for the love of it, for the love of the game, if you will, then it is not going to be worth it in the end for you. And I think it also does translate through to the reader at some point in time. If you aren't enjoying yourself, and if you don't believe in your work, or if you're writing work that doesn't align with you or resonate with you, my advice is to just keep having fun, as much fun as you can, and write what you love. Stay true to that. Try not to allow the industry's sway or the market influence what you write.
Hi guys, my name is Kim Chance. I am the author of the young adult contemporary fantasy Keeper, and I am here to share with you my #1 writing tip. And that would most definitely be to take advantage of placeholders. I think when we're drafting, we often get stuck on the words. If you're like me, you're a perfectionist and you get stuck on making sure that every little sentence is perfect. And sometimes you know that you have to put in a description or you have to describe a character and you just can't think of the words. And so my best advice is to make use of placeholders. What I do is when I'm stuck on something, I will put in a bracket, insert description here. And doing so allows me to move forward with my drafting instead of just getting hung up on one little thing. And if you are someone who's really trying to get words down on a page, placeholders will be your new best friend. If you're a perfectionist, it will be a little difficult at first, but I promise you, if you make use of placeholders, it will allow you to continue drafting, get words down on the page, and then you can go back and edit and fix all of those little things. This is something that I am definitely dealing with right now using placeholders, but it has changed my writing process and I highly recommend it. So use placeholders and good luck.
Hi guys, my name is Vivian and I have the beautiful book, The Illusion Prophecy. But my tip for today is to not be afraid to make mistakes. I think when writers are just getting started, oftentimes they think that there's one way to do things, but they may get tips and then it kind of impedes their creative process. So for instance, if you hear somebody say, don't open your book with a dream sequence, so don't have your first chapter be a dream sequence. Sometimes it's like you sit down to write and you're thinking of all the things you shouldn't be doing and you're too afraid to make any mistakes and it gets in the way of your creative process. So my tip is sort of, it's good to learn all of the mistakes that you can make, but when you sit down to write, it almost becomes a process of like refining your own writing skills and your writing process. Don't be afraid to make those mistakes. Like, a lot of us hear those tips, and then when you start writing, you may finish your whole manuscript and then you go back through it and you realize like, oh, like this is a mistake I know I shouldn't have made, but look at how much you were able to write when you kind of just let yourself be open to making those mistakes. So that's definitely my #1 tip, is just open yourself up to those mistakes, and you can always edit it later. Just because you say it now doesn't make it permanent. Just because you write it down one time doesn't make it a forever like obstacle in your novel.
Okay everybody, I really hope you enjoyed that. It was so fun having the opportunity to collaborate with all of these amazing creators. Plus, this was VERA's first ever YouTube video that she sat down and filmed. So thank you, Anna, so much for being part of my video. I truly appreciate it. We have so many more fun collaborations to film today, so I'm going to get to those. Also, I will have all of these social media links for all of these lovely ladies listed in the description box below. So make sure to go and check them out if you don't already know who they are. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!